The Kansas City Chiefs are one of several surprising teams moving forward in 1981. A key reason has been reserve quarterback Bill Kenney. Kenney's passing spelled trouble for Seattle, as did a running attack that compiled nearly twice as much rushing yardage as the Seahawks. Number 22, Ted McKnight, and Kenney both ran for scores as the Chiefs jumped out to a 20-0 halftime lead. But when Seattle's defense toughened in the second half, victory nearly eluded Kansas City's grasp. Also preventing the game from getting out of reach was Jim Zorn, whose team record 31 passes included a touchdown to Sam McCullum, number 84. But the Seahawks were thwarted by a Chiefs pass rush that finally showed signs of life. Despite entering the contest with just one sack on the season, they got to Zorn 3 times. While the defense was something to smile about, the 20-14 win also marked the 5th time in just 7 starts that young Bill Kenney has engineered a Chiefs victory. In Cincinnati, it was an old quarterback who proved that despite the new trend in headgear, some things are never out of fashion. Against Buffalo, Ken Anderson demonstrated that his accurate touch is still very much in vogue. The 11-year veteran threw for over 300 yards and 3 touchdowns, while the Bills countered with a fine performance from their own crafty campaigner, Joe Ferguson, who also threw 3 scoring passes. But Anderson, who had been benched in the Bengals season opener, rallied his team from a 21-10 deficit and ultimately sent the contest into overtime. In the extra period, Jim Breach's field goal provided the edge in Cincinnati's 27-24 win. In all 3 of their 1981 victories, the Bengals have come from behind. This from a team that many said lacked character. The Bengals may have a new outer appearance, but it's the heart that beats beneath their stripes that suggests a positive future lies ahead. Craig Morton's future was supposedly all used up. The dean of NFL quarterbacks is in his 17th season, but his vision is still sharp and fixed squarely on the end zone. 2 weeks ago, he threw 4 touchdown passes, and against undefeated San Diego last week, he duplicated the feat. Deceptive formations aided in the passing heroics. In a triple tight end alignment that usually spells run, tight end Ron Egloff, number 85, lined up as a wingback. His block negated a Charger defensive tackle and allowed Morton to execute a play-action pass to Jim Wright, number 87. Morton's favorite target was number 81, Steve Watson, who was 8 years old when Morton appeared in his first pro game. Watson's 8 receptions included a 93-yard score. In the last 2 weeks, Watson has produced 15 receptions for 321 yards and 5 touchdowns. Eye-opening statistics that have helped Denver become a sleeper in the NFC West. The Chargers waged a spirited comeback bid, but Dan Fouts found a persistent nemesis in Steve Foley, number 43. Foley's 3 interceptions helped the Broncos increase their record to 3-1. Defense has always been Denver's stock in trade, but for those who said it would take a long time for Dan Reeves' new offensive system to work in a supposedly rebuilding season, meet a rejuvenated relic named Morton and a rising star named Watson. Together, they helped stun San Diego 42-24 to establish the Broncos as a certified astonishment among 1981's surprise teams. Unbeaten after 3 weeks, the Miami Dolphins marched confidently into Baltimore's Memorial Stadium. The Colts, losers of 2 straight, were in no mood to become Miami's 4th victim. Baltimore quarterback Burt Jones had beaten the Dolphins in 5 of his last 7 starts against them. It appeared that Jones would master Miami again, as he rebounded from a slow start in 1981 to throw for 357 yards and 3 touchdowns against the Dolphins. Miami quarterback David Woodley matched Jones all game long. Woodley also threw for over 300 yards as the Dolphins and Colts combined for close to 1,000 yards in total offense. It took a field goal by Uwe von Schamann with a minute remaining to settle the shootout. The final score, Miami 31, Baltimore 28. Another unbeaten team, the Dallas Cowboys, hosted the Giants in a divisional matchup. New York had not won at Texas Stadium since 1974, and last week was no exception. Although the Giants shut down Tony Dorsett and Dallas's league-leading running attack, the Cowboys demonstrated their versatility, winning with a consistent passing game and strong defense. As usual, the defense was led by Randy White. White, number 54, was quick enough to beat his man before the block was even set up. His quickness helped account for 4 sacks. Complementing White was the accurate arm of his namesake, Danny White. White's touchdown pass to Butch Johnson helped Dallas defeat the Giants 18-10. Even this early, there can be no doubt that the Cowboys have their eyes on a Week 9 meeting with the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles matched Dallas with their 4th consecutive win, as the 2 NFC East rivals ended the week as the conference's only undefeated teams. Victory did not come easily for Philadelphia, although this second quarter touchdown by number 33 Louis Giamona gave the Eagles a lead they never relinquished. Washington outgained Philadelphia by over 100 yards and trailed by only 14-13 early in the 4th quarter. A more diverse Redskins offense than the one seen in recent years went into the game leading the NFL in passing, and for 3 quarters moved the ball well against Philadelphia. But while statistics showed the Redskins to be number 1, the standings showed them to be 0-3. The statistics do not reflect Washington's tendency to self-destruct. Against the Eagles, turnovers were again the key. A lost fumble and a 4th quarter interception by linebacker Reggie Wilkes led to the demise of the Redskins. Philadelphia capitalized quickly, scoring 22 points in the final quarter to put the game away. First, Ron Jaworski teamed with Charlie Smith for 1 touchdown. Then the Eagles' defense iced the verdict. The Eagles blitzed 2 linebackers. Reggie Wilkes, number 51, obstructed quarterback Tom Flick's view, while Al Chesley, number 59, lowered the boom. The result was another Washington fumble, this one recovered by Greg Brown for Philadelphia's final touchdown in a 36-13 victory over the winless Redskins. Another winless team came from behind valiantly, only to see it slip away. The New England Patriots tied the Steelers with 24 seconds remaining on this Stanley Morgan touchdown to send the game into overtime. But the Patriots' courageous comeback in regulation turned into their fourth straight loss when Terry Bradshaw hit Lynn Swann early in overtime to give Pittsburgh a 27-21 win. No one ever said New York fans aren't opinionated, especially when their team is 0-3. However, against Houston, quarterback Richard Todd showed Jet fans just how wrong they can be. Todd picked apart the Oilers' secondary, completing 25 of 39 passes for over 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. His performance proved that the Jet offense can do more than just look good on paper. Todd's favorite target of the afternoon was wide receiver Wesley Walker. Walker, number 85, had his best day ever as a Jet, catching 8 passes for 128 yards and 2 touchdowns, including this score giving the Jets a 21-10 halftime lead. Oiler quarterback Ken Stabler tightened the game with a short toss to 00 Ken Burrow that turned into a 70-yard touchdown. Stabler, often criticized for his inability to throw the long ball, didn't have that problem against New York. He was too busy running from Mark Gastineau, number 99, to throw the ball, period. Gastineau trapped Stabler 4 times, and his performance typified the Jet defense as they hit with the enthusiasm and recklessness of a high school football team on their first day of contact. The defense secured New York's 33-17 win, and the Houston Oilers were reminded that the AFC Central is not the only tough division in football. Former Houston coach Bum Phillips, now with the Saints, is finding out how tough his own conference is, and his schooling continued against the 49ers. Dave Wilson, starting for the injured Archie Manning, got the class off on the right foot, connecting with star pupil Wes Chandler, number 89. 4 plays later, Wilson received an A for effort with his scrambling touchdown pass to Jeff Groth, number 48, that gave New Orleans a 7-0 lead. Unfortunately, as usually happens, recess started early and the class clowns took over. Even teacher's pet Archie Manning was not exempt from being taught a lesson by the San Francisco defense. Number 42, Ronnie Lott's touchdown return sent Manning back to the sidelines, while 49er quarterback Joe Montana helped his team even their record at 2-2 with a scoring pass to Freddie Solomon, number 88. The touchdown was Solomon's 4th in as many games and boosted San Francisco to a 21-14 win. In Cleveland, the 1-2 Browns focused their attention on evening their record against the undefeated Atlanta Falcons. Steve Bartkowski quickly blurred Cleveland's vision of victory with a touchdown strike to Alfred Jenkins, number 84. However, quarterback Brian Sipe never lost sight of his receivers. And number 43, Mike Pruitt, keyed his eyes on the end zone. Sacrificing the big play for ball control, Sipe utilized short and medium range passes, including this touchdown to Ozzie Newsome, number 82. Sipe's strategy proved effective as Cleveland dominated the game and defeated Atlanta 28-17. Brian Sipe and the Browns are a bunch of the NFL's best con artists. Discarded by many after their embarrassing Monday night loss to San Diego, Cleveland appears intent on toying with the emotions and pacemakers of their fans once again in 1981. Last Sunday in Milwaukee's County Stadium, John Jefferson returned to pro football as a Green Bay Packer. When Green Bay's trade with San Diego was announced, many people wondered how Jefferson and the Packers' resident All-Pro pass catcher, James Lofton, would get along. So far, their chemistry is sky high and exciting. Jefferson and Lofton just may be the two best wide receivers in the game. Last Sunday, Packer quarterbacks found them open 15 times, but only once in the end zone. Lofton's first quarter score was warmly received by Jefferson, who seems genuinely delighted to be back in action. But if the Packers are to become a ball-throwing power, they first must learn to protect their passer. Eight times Minnesota's pass rush buried Packer quarterbacks, the most costly one coming in period 2, when Viking defensive end Mark Mullaney leaped high and obscured the intended receiver, allowing teammate Doug Martin to penetrate the middle and forced David Whitehurst to fumble. Number 75, Randy Holloway, gathered it in and loped along 45 yards to a score. This touchdown, 3 Rick Danmeyer field goals and 2 Tommy Kramer touchdown passes were more than enough to spoil John Jefferson's debut as a Packer. Bud Grant's Vikings now stand at 2-2 and are one of 3 teams tied for first place in the NFC Central Division. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are one of the other 2 following their 20-10 win at home over the St. Louis Cardinals. But for 3.5 periods in Tampa Stadium, Buccaneer fans had precious little to be excited about. Not until midway through period 4 did the Bucs score a touchdown, but James Owens' 2-yard run was a beauty. It also gave Tampa Bay a 13-10 lead, and when Jim Hart threw an interception on the Cardinals' very next possession, the Buccaneers' second score, a 31-yarder by Jerry Eckwood, iced away a 20-10 win. Tampa Bay's strong fourth quarter allowed them to keep pace with the Vikings. And lo and behold, those same fans who earlier couldn't wait for the boredom to end suddenly were dancing in dizzy delight. But if the Bucs really are the best in the Central Division, they'll have to prove it next week when they host the Detroit Lions, a team coming off a convincing win over the Oakland Raiders, a win in which they steamrolled Oakland's offensive line and buried Jim Plunkett 5 times. The leader of Detroit's Silver Rush is Bubba Baker, who ran by Oakland's venerable old pros as if they weren't even there. For the first time since 1966, the Oakland Raiders were shut out. While the Raiders were being manhandled, Detroit's Billy Sims outran pursuit to the flag for the game's only touchdown. Sims' scores set off a fiery celebration. The only problem was the smoke made it pretty tough to see in Section 318. Perhaps this was some unemployed auto worker's way of saying that the Oakland Raiders season is going up in smoke. Then again, maybe it wasn't. One thing for sure, though. When the smoke finally cleared, the Detroit Lions were 2-2 and back in the chase in the NFC Central Division. And Al Baker and friends thoroughly enjoyed it.